Urban knew the ship's company well enough to understand that the astronomer's negative report would not shift their desire to eventually visit the sun and sample whatever sparse dust remained, sifting for clues at the epicenter of collapse. But before they came to that passage, there would be other star systems to explore, with time enough for chance to amend the path they would ultimately follow. Be careful what you wish for. A grim thought, a troubled smile. He said,
Unless Griffin succeeds in changing the course of this expedition.
She'll come around, Clementine insisted. She's devoted to us, you know that. She just doesn't want to be held back, to be set aside the way she was at Tangieri. That alone would be bad enough. But more was going on. Urban felt sure of it. He had always been uneasy with Clementine's dark twin, but he'd trusted her. Now that trust had withered. He said,
I need her back with the fleet, back within reach of a laser link, of constant communication. You need to persuade her.
You know I've been trying. He held her gaze.
She's changed, Clementine.
We all changed. Dragon has changed.
Sooth, for the better. But Griffin, we need to understand what she's become.
Clementine lowered her chin, her eyes narrowed in resentment. You've already decided, haven't you? He sketched the facts, for himself as well as her.
She doesn't care for consensus. She won't listen to argument. She rarely even responds to our radio hails, and on her own she has decided to lead the fleet past Rio, despite our protests.
It's because she's bored. Rio was a dead system, no hint of life there, so she's pushing us to go on to Hupose. She's leading us on. She wants to be first this time, not to be consigned to the void, but to make discoveries of her own. Urban sighed. He shook his head. He got up from the carpet where he'd been sitting and paced the room, thinking, while Clementine watched him from the sofa. Throughout the years at Tangieri, Urban had rebuilt the fleet. Dragon had fed from the belt of ruins, enough to birth 2 new outriders to replace the pair lost at Verilotus. And then the courser had fed more, regathering mass and growing, expanding the size of its reef, adding to the power of its gun, while Griffin bided alone in the void, not feeding at all, not growing. Urban could overtake the smaller courser if it came to that, but there was another way, a better way, to test Griffin's loyalty. Ceasing to pace, he turned to Clementine.
We're going to Rio despite her. If she's still part of the fleet, she'll adjust her course to go with us.
Doubt welled in Clementine's eyes. She nodded agreement anyway, while eliding the obvious question, what will you do if she does not follow?